everybody. Welcome into Luttie's Look Back, episode 14. If you've been watching the show for a little bit, you know I'm a little bit different location, a different camera angle than normal. I'm on vacation right now as we're preparing for getting very close to Christmas time, only a few days away. So happy holidays, Merry Christmas to everyone watching out there. Still going to do the show for you guys because I know you guys watch it and depend on it. Well, maybe not depend on it's probably a little bit of a strong word, but hopefully you enjoy watching it as well. And hopefully you can hear me and it looks all good and nice and everything. But very excited to be talking to you guys today. We'll start my show how we always do with my three big things. We'll start with the Razorback win, men's basketball win over North Carolina A&T. Arkansas takes them down 95-67. Three big things. The first one, teamwork is the dream work. Arkansas, the teamwork has really been, it's been the thing for the Razorbacks the past few games. They've worked together so well. I know it's still early. I know it's against opponents that aren't that good like North Carolina A&T. But again, Arkansas has done what they've needed to do in these non-conference games where they're the better team, and they've come out and shown that from start to finish. Earlier on this season, it was a little worrisome because Arkansas would be pretty slow in the first half. They'd rise above them in the second half, and they'd get the win. The past few non-conference games against the UCA and a North Carolina A&T, Arkansas hasn't done that, and they've worked together really well. I think it was, let me double-check my notes here, 26 assists for the Razorbacks in the win against NC A&T. They also had 7 guys in double figures. I think it was 6 or 7. I think it was close to that number a week ago when the Razorbacks beat UCA. So that's what you want to see against a team like NC A&T, and especially with the Razorbacks after not playing a game for a full week. I think people were a little bit worried. Was that going to be a concern after not playing for a little bit? How would they come out and how would they play? And, you know, they played really good. Didn't get a chance to – I'm on vacation. That's the first thing I probably should have said. On a little bit of vacation, so I didn't get a chance to watch as closely as I normally would have, but I definitely did, and it was it was an exciting game. So that's my first big point. So we move on to my second one. Jonas Adu just continues to improve, continues to impress. I'll be honest, I was one of those people who was criticizing him a little bit earlier on in the year. I was like, when's this guy going to get healthy? When's he going to be the guy he was at Tennessee? And, you know, I didn't watch him a ton when he played with the Volunteers, but I just knew he was so good coming into this program, and he's starting to really show that. He had 17 points and 11 rebounds. Again, his size was the difference a little bit in this one. Maybe not as much as it was in the UCA game, but size advantage obviously helps him. And Cal said he's only at like 80%. And that's pretty impressive the way he's playing. So I can't wait to see. Maybe he can throw down some acrobatic dunks like a Trevin Brazil or a Duthiero when you know he's 100%. Maybe not to the level of Brazil or Thiero quite yet, but maybe he gets there, and maybe he's that type of guy for the Razorbacks at some point this season, which would be really fun to see. So that's my second big point. My third and last big point. It's not really based off of this game. It's more the course of the season and what's the future of this Razorback basketball team is to get healthy. It's to get healthy and stay healthy. And the Hogs just need to stay healthy because the way Cal has done this year with we're going to have 7 or 8 guys. They're going to be our go-to guys. No one else is really going to play but those 7 or 8 rotational guys. And all of 7 or 8 guys of the Razorback team that have been playing, they're all really, really good. And they have the potential to be maybe a Final Four team. Maybe. I put them more at a Sweet 16 range right now. But the thing is, they got to stay healthy. If Cal wants to do this, where he has only 7 or 8 guys playing, he can't have guys out. And so it's not going to cost him against the North Carolina A&T. It's not going to cost him against the UCA. It's going to cost him when they play Tennessee in about a week and a half. So Hogs have to get healthy. Hopefully John L. Davis is okay. He didn't play in this game. He's still recovering, I guess, from the wrist injury. He'd seemed fine to me the past few games. But I hope he'll be just fine. So those are my 3 big things from Arkansas's win over North Carolina A&T. Here's what Coach Cal had to say briefly after the game.
I thought the first half we did some good things. We had a couple letdowns, but it's hard being up 25 or 30 and playing, just so you know. It's just hard. And especially when you're like, keep running clock, we're going home. I mean, this not only has this been a grind for these kids to this point, but I took this, we started 2-a-days. And so I was going after them. Yesterday, we had Christmas at my house, had a meal, had gifts. for each of the guys, and now we're just making sure that they're going to be able to get back here on time the 26th, because we got a hard game the 30th, and then we start the truly grind of what this league is going to be, and start shortly thereafter.
All right, so good as always there to hear from Coach John Calipari. Arkansas has one more non-conference game before they start a really tough conference play. The SEC is absolutely loaded in basketball this year, so they'll start their conference season the first week of January. I think it's the 3rd or the 4th maybe, at Tennessee, and that's a Tennessee team that is the #1 team in the country. So that'll be pretty tough. Hogs got Oakland before that. Yes, the very same Oakland program. That was the last time that John Calipari coached at Kentucky. His very last game, lost to Oakland in the NCAA tournament. So might be a little added juice to that game, which will be fun for John Calipari. Hopefully for Razorback fans, it will be a win, exactly what they needed this past Saturday against North Carolina A&T. So that is the Razorbacks. Looking back at the Red Wolves, they also got a pretty dominant win over the weekend over Coastal Carolina. I had to double-check my notes because the score is very similar to the Razorbacks score. But Red Wolves dominate 97-67 in their first conference game of the season. The big player for them, surprisingly, the big man, Josh Hill, the freshman coming off the bench and scoring 26 points to lead the way. And he scored 26 points on only 16 minutes of playing basketball, which, as you can see there on your screen, a lot of three-pointers. That's how you get so many points with only playing that little of time. But really good performance by Arkansas State. They're now, I think, 10-3 heading into the new year. I think that's the last game of 2024. Man, 2024, it's crazy. It's gonna be 2025, like in a few days. That's crazy in a week. But good win for the Red Wolves. Hill played really well. Joseph Pinion also played good. When they shoot the ball well, like I think this was their highest field goal percentage game of the season. When they shoot the ball that good, they're going to win a lot of games. And I mean, you saw it against Memphis a few weeks ago, and you see it against Coastal Carolina, a team that they should have beat, but to beat them by 30 points is pretty impressive. So those are my brief thoughts on the game for A-State. Let's hear from Coach Hodgson and what he had to say after the game.
Obviously, just beyond thrilled for these young men. I thought to close out the fall semester, they represent our program, this university, this community in the right way, and they're competitors. And so, as a coach, I'll be honest, a little nervous coming into this one. Just from a mental standpoint, Kobe Julian goes down with an ankle sprain, and then on top of that, I've been a part of it before. I saw a college basketball beat writer this morning tweeted, which team is going to lay an egg right before Christmas break today. It happens every year, right? The guys are ready to go home. We worked the heck out of these guys, and I can tell you which team it wasn't. It wasn't us.
All right, so good win for Arkansas State. Let's move on now from the Red Wolves to the Bears. UCA over the weekend this is actually yesterday, falling to Oklahoma 89-66. The Bears, they actually played pretty good in this game. They were only down 7 with about halfway through the second half. They started to they never pushed ahead. I don't think they ever had a lead. But they played Oklahoma really good, and it's an Oklahoma team that is one of 3 or 4, I think 4 undefeated teams left in the NCAA right now. So Oklahoma, a pretty good team out of the SEC, and for UCA to keep it close and play a better game than they did against the Razorbacks a week ago, that says something. UCA has had a really tough non-conference schedule this season. They've played, I don't know, there's five Power 4 teams. So UCA has scheduled a lot of really tough opponents. I'm curious to see when they start the ASUN how they'll do. They got young players. They also got a lot of players out. I think I read it was 5 of their guys were out for this game, whether it be injuries or other reasons. But they still got a really good team. Lane Taylor, the freshman out of Farmington, is really special. He had 16 points. Ella Decato with 13. Ben Fox had a couple big three-pointers to have 12 points. I think Fox was the guy who hit the three-pointer that may have cut this deficit down to 7 in the second half. But they all played really good. The biggest stat I noticed when just looking back at it, because I didn't get a chance to watch this one, but looked at the stats. Actually, I may have watched a few minutes of it, but OU outscored UCA 33-3 on fast break points. So when you have a team so much faster and more athletic, and it makes sense, SEC versus A-Sun. That's kind of what's going to happen. But OU dominating in that portion of the game. Bears now 3-9 on the season, so tough look for them. But again, they've played a lot of really good teams, a really tough competition. Once they start the A-Sun, which will be, I'm guessing this upcoming week, they might have one more non-conference game. They get some more home games in them. That'll probably be good for this UCA team that I think has a lot of potential. Move on from UCA to Little Rock. They did not. Their game was postponed over the weekend. For those who don't know, very sad that the death of a student manager, Josh Claxton, over the weekend. So they did not. Their game was postponed with Eastern Illinois. Very sad. My thoughts and prayers go out to everyone a part of the Little Rock men's basketball program, the university, and to Claxton's family and friends as well. Just a very sad deal there for all of Little Rock, for sure. But the women's basketball team did play. That was the game it was going to be women's basketball, then men's basketball. Women did have their game earlier on in the day, so we'll talk about them just briefly. Didn't get a chance to watch it, but I went back and looked at some stats. They fell 59-56 to Eastern Illinois, and again, it was a tough loss for them. And in this game, I was really looking forward to seeing how would Faith Lee do after having a really good game this past week, where she scored 31 points. I think it was a career high. And it was a really impressive game out of her. They started out conference play 1-0 in the Steve Weedor era, and then they come back with a tough loss against Eastern Illinois, a game in which I have it written down here. They where was it? It was back and forth. They had it tied with 2 minutes left in this game. It was a tie ball game, and they just couldn't close it out. I think it was a lead that actually missed some critical free throws down the stretch. And wasn't able to get that one. But, Little Rock, they're still good. They're a good team. We'll see how they respond. They got a lot of conference play left to go. So that is some Little Rock basketball talk. We'll move on to Arkansas State women's basketball. The Red Wolves took down Delta State 68-49, I believe it was. Yeah, this was the game yesterday. They kind of pulled away in the second half. Red Wolves pulled away in a big win, or not a big win, but in a as far as the margin of victory. They had a really good second half. Outscored them 36-19 in the second half. So it was a bit closer to the first half. They pulled away in the second half to get the win. Conference play for the Red Wolves starts a week from yesterday. So Sunday the 29th is when they will begin, I'm guessing, Sun Belt conference play for the A-State women. That is A-State women. UCA women were also in action. They were down in Louisiana for a tournament, I believe. They lost both their games. Really close games, too. UCA is probably one of the better, if you compare all of the in-state women's basketball programs right now. UCA is up there, and we'll see how they do against Arkansas, which is their next game. But this is Luttie's look back, not Luttie's look ahead quite yet. But for UCA, they fell 65-49 to Louisiana Monroe. Just not a great second half for them. That was the first of their two games over the weekend. I think that was the Friday game. I could be wrong. In the Saturday game, 55-53 to Alabama A&M. So just these close games. I guess the ULM wasn't quite as close as the Alabama A&M one, but close games. They have a decent team. A nail biter there. They aren't able to get the win, but they're still 6-4 on the season. Again, I'm really curious to see how they'll do against the Razorbacks coming up very soon. Man, it's getting dark out here. I got to go quicker. All right, so that's a look at women's basketball. Let's check in on some NFL scores from yesterday. The Titans falling to the Colts. Again, Tennessee not too good this season. They're not 3-12. I don't know if it's tank for Travis Hunter or what's going on there, but they're actually up by a touchdown at the end of the first quarter. Then the Colts dropped 24 points in the second quarter to win 38-30. That second game you see there, Falcons take down the Giants 34-7. A lot of interesting stuff going on with Atlanta right now. It was the very first start from Michael Penix. He played okay. It was really their defense that won the game for him. I think it was 2 pick sixes for the Falcons to get the win over against a pretty bad Giants team, 34-7. All right, we'll finish up my show how we always do with a little bit Luttie's look ahead, and I think there's only one really big game, of course, to look ahead to this upcoming week for the Razorback football team in the Liberty Bowl against Texas Tech. There's a few notes I just want to get across. If you don't know nothing about the Razorbacks going into this game, a few things I do want to note for you. Obviously, a lot of changes with the Razorback football program. Probably 25-ish transfer portal players have left the program. So this team is going to be a lot different. They've lost probably about half their starters. Again, I'm just kind of estimating. I probably should have written it down. It's going to be a different team. It's going to be a different team than what we've seen them be the entire season. Texas Tech will also be a little bit different. They won't have their starting quarterback. He was out, or he's going to be out. I think he's either entering the draft or he has a surgery or a little bit of both there. But it's an interesting thing to note. And again, the thing about Texas Tech, the thing I've read so much about them, really good offense, really bad defense. So I don't really know what to expect with Arkansas because they have so many guys missing. So many guys that are like third string running back is going to be the starter. So I don't know. Like I'm not the expert, but I'm supposed to be kind of an expert on some of this stuff. And this game, I don't even know how it's going to go. I know the one thing that has to happen if Arkansas wants to win the game, it's for Taylor Green to play good. And not for him just to, if he can't run the ball and pass the ball, there's no chance Arkansas can win. If he's just really good at running, that's great, but they got to be able to pass the ball to win. If he's just really good at passing and for some reason he can't run the ball, he's got to be able to run the ball. That's what makes him so unique. That's what makes him so special as a quarterback. So we'll see if Taylor Green and the Razorbacks can win against the Red Raiders. I think it'll be interesting. I think it'll be a close game. Again, I don't know. Taylor Green has to play good. That's the one thing I know. So it'll be really interesting to see. A lot of changes with this football team right now. The Liberty Bowl almost feels a little bit irrelevant because so much of the focus is on next season. But that's my talk on the Razorback football team. That's Luttie's Look Back, a very unique Luttie's Look Back. Probably won't be. There's very rare times in the future where the Luttie's Look Back will probably look like this. But hopefully you still enjoyed it because I know I did, even though we've lost a lot of daylight here. But that's how I'm going to wrap things up. Luttie's Look Back, episode 14. Thanks so much for watching. Have a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, and we'll see you next week.